Research how Eskimos killed wolves. They would take a knife, and how they would kill a wolf is this, they would not attack a wolf with a knife. They would cover a knife with fresh blood. They will let that blood dry up, and then they will cover that knife with another coat of blood. Let that blood dry up until they would cover this knife about 5 times with a fresh coat of blood, and it would dry up. They would stick the knife somewhere in the forest. You have to understand one thing about animals, including wolves, is their instinct and the craving that they have and the smell for blood makes them lose common sense and any logic. So they would stick that in, and the wolf would come smelling blood, thinking it's meat, and he would start licking. He would start licking that blood. He would start licking that blood, and as he's licking the blood, he's cutting his own tongue. And now he's licking the blood in the knife, and he's licking the blood coming out of his own tongue until he starts to bleed out and start filling himself with his own blood. And next thing you know is he swallows the knife. And then they come back and pretty much take the wolf, and he's already dead. That's exactly what the devil does with us. What he does is he sets up a temptation on the outside called a culture, because he knows that if you are not a genuine believer, you will not be driven by your conviction. You'll be driven by your instincts, meaning by your cravings, by your passions. I want this, I crave this, but I need this. Something happens when that happens, is that the devil doesn't even have to be involved. It's our own craving that will drive us toward a knife. Come on, somebody. And then what begins to happen is, as we begin to indulge in that, this is the lie of the enemy. Lust will never satisfy. Lust grows when you satisfy it. Lust does not go away when you satisfy it. There is no amount of pornography, there is no amount of sex in the world that could ever satisfy lust. Lust is never ever satisfied. Your cravings for sin will never get satisfied. There's no amount of drugs, there's no amount of parties, there's no amount of booze, there's no amount of illicit, illegal, forbidden things that will ever satisfy. It's a bottomless pit. The best thing you can do is to crucify those cravings. That does not mean you grab a knife and start cutting yourself. It just simply means you deny yourself of what those cravings want. When something within you says, I want that, and God's word says no, you put that back and you say no. I want to tell you something. The difference between an animal and you is this. When the animal sees blood, smells blood, it has no resistance within itself to say no.